Ladies and gentlemen, it has finally happened. Google Stadia is dead. Or, well, it's about to be dead. January something 2023. So to the surprise of nobody except people on Google Stadia subreddit, people saw this coming from a mile away. Now, if you don't know what Google Stadia is, bless your heart. Essentially what Stadia was a poor man's Xbox xCloud gaming service, or the Nvidia's version of streaming games. It's a poor man's version of that. And for most people, they didn't want to support it. They saw no reason to, because they knew it was going to die just like every other project Google does. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds wild. Google killing another product? No, that can't be. Hold up. So here's my favorite website, killedbygoogle.com. It shows you literally every single thing that Google has made and has killed. It's a pretty lengthy list. Google makes so much shit and it all goes to the graveyard because Google has such a low attention span and they promote brand new products all the time. That's all they want. New. They don't care about anything else going on their platform. They just want to keep making new shit. They don't want to work on things that could be good down the line. Last I checked, and I could be wrong at this point, but I doubt it. The way Google works is they like to promote stuff that is successful, things that work, things that are brand new, something. It's like a new toy. Google throws the old toy down the trash and kill it while they promote the new toy. So what makes things even more funny was they had an article earlier this year that was posted in July that was talking about Google Stadia might be shutting down. And then there was an update for Google themselves saying Stadia is not shutting down. Rest assured, we're always working on bringing more games to the platform and Stadia Pro. Let us know if you have any other questions, because someone asked Sai, incredible that I really have to ask this, are you closing down soon? And then that's when Google made their response. Because if I remember correctly, there was a post made on Reddit earlier this year that talked about when Stadia was supposed to die. And then there's a tweet made by Killed by Google that was talking about Stadia dying as well soon. And right now their account's suspended, so I can't show the tweet. But they were spot on. They hit the nail on the head and they got this 100% correct. But then again, to anyone who was following Google long enough, they would know that this product was going to die soon anyway. So once this article got posted, I was tracking the Stadia subreddit for a while. I wanted to see how people reacted to this and what their thoughts were. To a lot of people, it seemed like that whole subreddit was AstroTurf, that there wasn't really that many fans that were clawing, to play the next new game on Stadia or even really cared about the platform to begin with. Now, don't get me wrong, there's probably people who did use it that did enjoy it, but it wasn't a lot. And now with Google shutting down Stadia, it proves everyone's thoughts that this wasn't that great to begin with. So pretty much this whole post was people commenting saying that this is garbage, this is gaming journalism is a joke. There are some responsible people who know what they're doing, but they're the minority. Wait, so is Stadia shutting down or no? And then when you go into the actual thread itself, it says nope. And of course, at that time, I give them that. It technically wasn't shutting down. That's a fair point. And then someone said, do you really all believe that people who work at a Twitter account would have information about Stadia shutting down or not, or would be allowed to post about it? I don't know what's worse, the fact their gaming sites took an unsourced and unverified tweet and ran with it like a proper story without checking if it was true, or the fact that Reddit lost its mind considering Google had just recently announced country expansion along with porting tools that have been provided to developers. Gaming journalism is a joke and people love to get hysterical over anything. Now, I will give some credit that this was at a time where it was not proven, this was not a verifiable source, and it could be doubted from where it is because it's just a tweet. Why should people run with that? But on the other hand, like I said, if you were following Google for so long, I was a super big Android Google fanboy for a very long time. The amount of things that Google kills, the things that they just do half-assed, they don't finish, they don't see it through, is unbelievably high. That's why so many people did not care for Stadia. We're not going to invest their time and energy into the product itself because the writing was on the wall already. The second this got announced, people knew what was going to happen with it. Google's going to lose interest in it in a couple years and put it on the chopping block just like they do every other product. It's happened time and time again, and it's no surprise that this has happened again. Pretty much for the past couple of years, the Stadia subreddit has been like a holy ground for Stadia and talking about how it's never going to die and that's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And surely Google will not drop Stadia like they have other platforms in the past. No, that's not possible. And so today, here we are hit with the letter of what has happened with Stadia. A few years ago, we also launched a consumer gaming service, Stadia. And while Stadia's approach to streaming games for consumers was built on strong technology foundation, it hasn't gained the traction with users that we expected. So we have made the difficult decision to begin winding down our Stadia streaming service. We're grateful to the dedicated Stadia players that have been with us from the start. We will be refunding all Stadia hardware purchases made through the Google Store and all games and add-on content purchases made through the Stadia Store. Players will continue to have access to their game library and play through January 18, 2023 so they can complete final play sessions. We expect to have the majority of refunds completed by mid-January 2023. We have more details for players on this process on our help center. So on a positive note, at least Google's going to refund players the shit that they bought. They pretty much say, hey, tough luck, our service is dying down, but on the bright side, we will give you your money back. And that's good on them. At least they're doing this. Because personally, if you want my take on this, I don't like cloud gaming. I don't like cloud streaming. I don't think it's the future that companies would love to do. I like physical games. I don't mind digital downloads of games, but I don't want to do digital streaming. Internet is not where it needs to be for that to even be considered a possible future. It's no shot, not even close. One of the reasons why people did not like Stadia to begin with was because of the push for the future of gaming is cloud streaming, when it's not. The idea of cloud only gaming is very depressing and is not really a future I like to think about. I am perfectly content with my digital downloads and having physical copies of CDs and putting that into my console and calling it a day. Now, of course, I'm not naive. I know that companies are going to keep pushing for a digital only future and where they have everything digitalized and there's no way you have a physical CD to, load onto your console. But for the time being, it's not going to happen. I think cloud gaming is nice as a complementary service to what's already provided normally. I don't think cloud gaming should take over digital downloads and have an actual file on your computer or your console, but I do think it's a nice complement. Let's say you're on the go, you only got your laptop, but you want to play games. I think it's good for that use. Or let's say you're just not by your computer for a hot minute, but you still want to play all the new releases, but you don't have your PS5 with you, or you don't have your desktop. I think that's cool. I think that's really great. And from everything I've seen with Xbox and the way they push their service, that kind of seems where they align with and where they go. And I'm all for that. But the idea of replacing having the files on your computer, on your console, I just don't like that. To me, that's just one of many anti-consumer tactics that companies like to go for to make you have less control of what you own and what you can, use on your own will without being connected to the internet. I don't like that. Anyways, Google Stadia has done so. It is gone. It is dead, to the surprise of pretty much nobody except the Stadia subreddit. But who knows, maybe Amazon Luna is going to be out the door in a couple years as well too. Only time will tell. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing. So I got for you. Have a great day. Yeah.